השיר הזה אני רוצה להקדיש באהבה לתנועת תורה מציון. איזה כיף שיש אתכם, איזה מתוקים, איזה פעילות קדושה לחבר את יהודי התפוצות, באהבת תורה, באהבת ארץ ישראל, באהבת עם ישראל. תמשיכו ככה באהבה, אהרון רזל.
כי מציון תצא, תלך עד הקצה, עד קצה העולם, כי אחיך עוד שם. כי מציון תצא, אל אחיך שרוצה, רוצה את הקרבה, הוא זקוק לאהבה. כי מציון תצא, תורה אתה רוצה להביא לשם, לכל אחיך בעולם. כי מציון תצא, תורה אתה רוצה להביא לשם, לכל אחיך בעולם. אתה רוצה להביא לשם, לכל אחיך בעולם. אם דבר השם ירושלים ותורה מישראל, את לבך אתה פותח לאחיך ששואל, עם אמונה שזה הבית לכל אחד מישראל. אתה מושיט ידיים את אחיך לקבל. כי מציון תצא, תורה אתה רוצה להביא לשם, לכל אחיך בעולם.
Thank you, Zeev, for that beautiful music and that beautiful video. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Monday Motivation Spotlight series from Israel every Monday, same time, same place, from 9 to 9:30 a.m. Israel time. Welcome if you're joining live, which is always great because then you can participate in the chat and live. And welcome if you're watching the recording afterwards. I'm Lesley Kaplan. I look forward to welcome you to the session. This session is also co-hosted, as you know, via AECI, with thanks to a grant from the Reinhardt Foundation and to this month's co-sponsor, J Homes Jerusalem Fine Realty. So we have a great session lined up for you today. Today, our very special guest, who I'm going to actually co-spotlight him, is Zeev Schwartz, who is very, very well known in the Israel circle, Jerusalem circle. I consider myself a Vatika. I've been here, in fact, yesterday was my 34th anniversary. And Zeev, when I read your bio, you've been here way longer than me. So that makes me, what does that make me, a newbie? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, welcome. We're delighted to have you as our guest today. I remind you, everybody, that those that are joining live, that you can ask Zeev any questions in the chat. Feel free to add anything to what he's saying, or if something resonates with you, if you have any memories, if you've had contact with Zeev before, or with Torah MiTzion. The series, as I said, was, well, many of you know, because some of your regulars, was founded during the war with the aim of inspiring Israelis, inspiring Am Yisrael, and at the same time, giving exposure to wonderful, wonderful organizations and businesses out there who are contributing to Eretz Israel. So Zeev, I'm going to let you take the floor. Zeev, let me introduce him officially. He's the founder and the executive director of Torah MiTzion, who I've had the privilege and pleasure of working with for many, many years now. He also, in between, has been the World Director General of World Bnei Akiva, and he also founded Lev Yehudi, which provides, or Yev Lev Yehudi, let's pronounce that correctly, which provides a Jewish center for Israeli backpackers in India. As I say, he's most well known for his Bnei Akiva period, as well as for Torah MiTzion. So Zeev, thank you so much for joining us. Share with us all about Torah MiTzion, what's going on around the world, your shlichim, you, yourself. I'm going to unspotlight myself, and you're going to take the floor. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for this opportunity, Lesley. Appreciate all what you do, and also to the AACI. It's good to see all of you. So let me just dive into it. I'm going to share a screen, and it's going to help me focus on a couple of ideas. So Torah MiTzion we'll get to, but first a little bit about myself. I grew up in Johannesburg, South Africa, and my name is Zeev, in memory of Zeev Jabotinsky. My grandfather was a staunch Zionist, and I would say a life-changing experience. One of those major milestones was when I was 9 years old. It was the time of the Entebbe operation. And I just remember that Sunday morning, anxiously waiting for that news for the release of the hostages, and how much that's so dear today, that every day we wait for the release of the hostages. It's a different world then, but that was a life-changing event, because it touched me in so many ways when I, heard the news and the release and the evacuation, the bravery, but also the price that was paid by the army officer, which then came to be known as Yoni Netanyahu. So that really touched me. And many years later, one of our kids we called Yoni, in memory of Yoni Netanyahu. Another milestone, just to put things into perspective, Avram Fried sang a song, "No Jew Would Be Left Behind." So, in the value of the hostages, of Arvut Hadadit, mutual responsibility, and the price you would do to release a hostage, Mordechai ben David came to South Africa and he sang, "Someday we will all be together." I love teaching songs, by the way. So this song, I used to sing the song to my kids every night before they go to sleep. And so there's a song that's on my WhatsApp messenger that someday we'll all be together. But if you look at the words, we learned in a dark, frigid cellar, and the flame of Torah flickered on that day. So this means so much to me, that Yiddishkeit, Judaism, could be in such dangerous times, and this could be the end, but we never give up. And therefore, this was the driving force in my life as such, that while growing up, I always had this, this vision of how to spend what I'm going to be doing, my life, etc. So straight after I went to my first summer camp, I was at 11, first time I got close to Shabbat and Kashrut. And straight after high school, went to Yeshivat Har Etzion, and then I went into Givati, the army. Here I've got one or two pictures to show that. And that was the entrance into Chevra Yisraelit. Lesley, I've been here 39 years since I came on MTA, and I stayed here, and a nice picture of my Zayda, which was, gave me the name Zeev, carried on. His name was Israel. And Baruch Hashem, I carried on in Israel, went backpacking like Israelis do. I was at Bar Ilan, married an Israeli, a Moroccan descent, Shulamit. We were in the Gulf War. We're ready, the Avem bite in the Maonot at Bar Ilan. And here's a picture of Achina, one of our kids, Bli Ayin Hara. We've been blessed with 5 children. We live in Shoham. So all of us is part of the background of what I've done. And close to 30 years ago, we set up Torah MiTzion. And Torah MiTzion basically is a combination of a lot what we believe in connecting between Israel and Am Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, and Torah Yisrael. In the center, you can see on our logo. One short message which I always like to share if we are getting together, and it's a story from Masechet Eruvin. And here you got the English translation Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, that he was once touched really by the chokhmah of a young boy. And what was that incident? And it's known, but I like to go over it because it's a way of life. One time I was walking along the path and I saw a young boy sitting at the crossroads. And I said to him, on which path shall we walk in order to get to the city? He said to me, this path is short and long. And that path is long, but much shorter. And so I walked on the path that was short and long. When I approached the city, I found that it was with gardens and orchards, and it was all surrounded. I couldn't even get into the city. So I went back to the boy and I said to him, but didn't you tell me that this was a short way? And then he responded to me, and this is what was the verbal encounter. He said, but I didn't tell you that it's also long. And I kissed him on the head and said to him, happy are you, Israel, for you are exceedingly wise for your old to your young, from your old to your young. It says a lot about decision making. And in life, the long road and the short road. Sometimes people live in the instant world, and they basically want to go on a life that is a short path, and they want it all happening now. Humbly, I chose the long road, and that long road was not easy at times. And it took me from making aliyah, had to deal with the language and the culture. But as I said, I was driven. I had a desire to achieve. I had this goal in front of me. Today, I use the Simon Sinek uses this on YouTube, and I've used this to share to our shlichim as part of the training. The why, the how, and the what. So if you're clear on your why, if you're clear on why you're doing what you're doing, things fall into place. It's basically the long road, but in the end, things will work out. Sometimes you go on a path that you want to make a career, you want to make money fast, but is that really what you're meant to be doing? Is that really what you're all about? And along that road, and with all the trials and tribulations, I believe that learn to not only become part of Israeli society and take that I was different in the world that I was living in, but became part of Israeli society and the culture, and used the ability of both Hebrew and English. I think my Hebrew is much stronger today than my English because I learned to express myself that way. But you learn you can do it. Keep your eyes on the target. So that's how, in many ways, stood behind starting with Torah MiTzion. And I just want to take you through it just briefly, that we put a lot of investment, by the way, in how we see things and our branding and marketing, and how we recruit shlichim, the milestones from going out as a shaliach. We're very particular, making sure we get the right shlichim, the different places we were active in. If you can see here, where we've recruited from different yeshivot, the communities we were active in since Cape Town was like right back then, the first, and until now, we just started in Ottawa in active learning in Makom Torah, the same way I was at Gush, and then carrying on. I look back at Johannesburg, that if you became religious through Bnei Akiva, if you wanted a Makom Torah, you didn't really have, you'd had to go to a Haredi community or Samer. So wow, this idea, let's put a Makom Torah in action with the vibe of Tzioni Dati, role models. I remember my shaliach growing up, Chaim Leikob from Masot Yitzchak. He role model, I wanted to have the role models of shlichim that you can look up to, that have been in yeshiva, been in the army, in Givati, in Golani, in Sanchanim, and have a great impact. And the women will be there as role models for women's learning. And this is basically what we've done. We count the amount of chivrut and shurim, and the impact it has on aliyah. We have interactive learning and teaching Yiddishkeit in German, Spanish, Russian, French, and going to be opening up soon also with Portuguese. So this is Torah MiTzion, that we know that through these shlichim, it's had a great impact on battling assimilation, strengthening Jewish identity, a Makom Torah, leaders, creating leadership. Follow me to Israel. And I'm going to just show a brief video that basically puts that into perspective. And here we go. Just 2 seconds. I've got to share screen. Okay, we can see Rav Drori.
The whole idea of Torah MiTzion is to help your brother.
בואו נשים את הדברים על השולחן, זה מצב חירום. אם אנחנו לא נהיה שם, האחים שלנו ימשיכו להתבולל.
זה גשר חי לארץ ישראל.
יהודים יוצאים מארץ ישראל לחוץ לארץ, לתת בשורה לגולה.
תורה מציון זה מהפכה.
מהילדים עד הזקנים, צעירים, יש לנו בית מדרש נשים, יש לנו משפחות.
מבוגרים, צעירים, סטודנטים, מגיעים רק בשביל ללמוד, בשביל השליחים של תורה מציון.
אנחנו משפיעים ובגדול, וגם על אנשים שבגיל של אבא שלי.
ברור להם שאנחנו מביאים אליהם תורה גדולה שאין להם שם.
מציאות של תורה, מציאות של משפחה, מציאות של חיים, ולא רק ללמד את זה, אלא להראות את זה לחבר'ה.
הם מרגישים שהם מכירים ישראלים מארץ ישראל, הם מחוברים, הם רוצים להרגיש את זה בפנים.
כשאני ראיתי שהם לא רק לומדים תורה, מלמדים תורה, אלא חיים תורה, אמרתי לעצמי, זהו, that's it.
יש הרבה רגעים שאתה מוביל ועורך חופות לתלמידים, ועכשיו הם מקימים בית, כולו על אבני קודש, על טהרת המשפחה, זה שווה את זה.
באמת האנשים האלה זה כמו משפחה.
יש קהילות שאין להם חיבור ליהדות.
ויש קהילות שאם לא היינו שם, דברים לא היו.
הקולו במציאותה מגביהה את הרמה של הקהילה.
זה המוסד היחיד שבעצם חוגג גם החגים הלאומיים שלנו. אין מישהו אחר, מיום העצמאות, מיום ירושלים, מערכים של צבא.
החבר'ה שאתה שולח מפה משפיעים על כל כך הרבה קהילות, זה מדהים.
עלו 21 משפחות לארץ, ואני ראיתי את זה בעיניים.
כשאנחנו נסענו לבקר בקהילה שאייל היה במונטווידאו, ושאלנו את ראש הקהילה, היכן נמצאים כל התלמידים שאייל לימד, אמר לנו, מה אתם רוצים? לכו תראו את התוצאה בישראל.
אם לא היו השליחים של תורה מציון שם, בחול, אין מצב שהייתי עולה לארץ.
בזכות תורה מציון, אני פה.
יש לכם כאן הזדמנות באמת להשפיע בצורה טהורה ומזוקקת על העתיד של העם שלנו ושל המדינה שלנו.
What gave me nachat as a donor was all the beautiful stories that people told me of how it made a difference in their lives.
יש לנו חלומות, יש לנו חזון, יש לנו תוכניות.
למה לתרום להם? כי 27 שנה יש להם הצלחה טובה, ואנחנו רוצים שימשיכו להצליח.
ברוך השם, התורה יוצאת היום מציון לכל פיזורי הגולה, ואין לך מצווה גדולה מזו.
הגיע הזמן, תורה מציון.
הגיע הזמן, תורה מציון.
נכון, זה היה כיף להכיר את תורה מציון?
אני כבר אומר, כפרה, סמרטוט, סבבה. אני כבר ישראלי.
So Baruch Hashem, we've been very fortunate all these years to work with Torah MiTzion, and it's become really a great success. However, along the way, we've also managed to start a program in India, as Lesley mentioned in the introduction, and that is called Lev Yehudi. We realized that what can we also do for Israeli society, and one of the key places that there's a window of opportunities while they are backpackers touring, especially in India, then there's a spiritual opportunity, and we have in there's great Chabad opportunities, but in the religious Zionist world, you've got Lev Yehudi. In North India, Dharamsala, South India, where we're active actually today in Hampi, and you can see a lot of people come and they get close to their Yiddishkeit. And this is an opportunity that they can become closer to Shabbat, Kashrut, Tefillah. You can see a Sefer Torah that we got donated recently on loan in memory of those fallen on Simchat Torah and in memory of my father. But Baruch Hashem, we can see that this has great impact on Israeli society. Just one small anecdote. Recently, one of the visitors from the Jewish home has said that I came into the Jewish home and not liking Am Yisrael or really hating. And he said, after being there, seeing the kids, seeing the family, seeing how the warmth, I've dropped that stigma, and I've become now closer to my Judaism. And this happens all the time. So it has thousands that go through a different season. It's a major impact, all part of Torah MiTzion. So over the years, Baruch Hashem, I've been fortunate to be active, as I said, in Bnei Akiva at the beginning, my first summer camp at the age of 11. And who would have dreamt that I would have become head of World Bnei Akiva for 5 years, which was very special opportunity, following from Yosker Shapira, Aram Duvdevani, Yitzhak Stiglitz, Ge'el, and it carries on today. So we, Baruch Hashem, have the opportunity to bridge on an ongoing basis between Israel and the diaspora. Lesley asked me to share with you the challenges. So first of all, before I go to the war, I wanted to say that through life, I have seen dealing with challenges in my day-to-day, every day, what's today's challenge? And you'd think, okay, how I dealt with Aliyah, keeping onto the vision. And I've taken a slogan or a saying that I've invented myself. If things go smooth, if things go smooth, it's like slippery, you slip. However, if there's chikuk, if there's some friction, don't be scared. It's like a tire to the road. You keep yourself on your highway of life. And therefore, over the years, dealt with cancer and kept it going. What was Hashem talking to me? I didn't see the ends coming. I didn't take it lightly. But how am I going to be dealing with this matana? Hashem's talking to me, and how am I going to be dealing with this current challenge? Lebanon. I went into Lebanon. I didn't know I was going to come out of there, but I saw what could be my role in my daily challenge in Lebanon. This was years gone by. Give every day a hug to a fellow soldier. That's where my added value. And therefore, even now, during the war, during Corona, I lacked the opportunity of giving a hug to somebody because we couldn't touch. But use the opportunity to bring the best out of you. And I think Hashem doesn't put you in a situation that you can't stand up to it. One famous Mishnah of mine is Kneh Lecha Chaver. And you should surround yourself with people that you can gain advice from, gain eitzah, support. And that's basically what I've done, is always surrounded myself with the opportunity to seek counsel. And that's been of great support. One of the areas that I feel that has been, especially in the war, when there's uncertainty, ivadaut, you have to deal with it with certainty. And even saying a Perek Tehillim is certainty. Helping somebody is certainty. That gives, in uncertain times, you can guide, you can give certainty. And the best way is Ishet Re'eu Yazoru V'Lachiv Yomar Chazak. One of my biggest challenges, my day-to-day, is around the word of Giyus, recruiting. But it's not Giyus recruiting shlichim. It's also the word used for fundraising or recruiting kihilot to be in touch with. So on a day-to-day, it's really always how we're going to be able to get the best people involved in what we are doing. And it's all the people-to-people's business. It's communicating heart to heart, and it's making sure that you connect to your fellow Jew. And in many ways, that's the key that has kept me. This love for people, the opportunity to be of value. I'll quickly go through just to show you that we have a program that's on a Thursday morning here in Baka. If anyone's interested, 2 shurim, high quality in English, because we saw that there's a need for it. I was challenged a while back when there was a lot of issues going on in Israeli society around the reform. What can I, Zeev, do that is of value? And I said 2 words. What's it all about? Ahavat Israel. So I took a sign, went home behind this picture done, my mom, Zichronah Lebracha, Gladys did, and I said, Ahavat Israel. All of us can add a lot to Ahavat Israel. And if you think about it, if all of us stood up and took a sign and said, Ahavat Israel, we saw somebody different from us, we could have a major impact on somebody's life by just saying, I love you, my fellow Jew. And therefore, through the war, we looked at what can we be doing best. We continued putting certainty in uncertain times. So a lot of our shlichim came back. They were called up by Tzav Shmone, so they left the communities, came back to fight. These are true role models because they left the Kehillah from Mexico, for Sydney, and came back to fight. And that has not been easy for us. We carried on learning, carried on doing a lot of initiatives, the women's learning, Hafrashat Chala, the rallies, interactive support on the web. But Baruch Hashem, when we were at trying times, we came out to strengthen our fellow Jews. So this is something that every day is a challenge. Every day you got to see what is your driving force, what is your why, what is your vision in life, and what keeps you going. And it's these small things that keep me, my eyes on the target. Here on my desk, I always hold pictures of couples that met in Moscow. And because of Torah MiTzion, they did assimilate and they married, and a lot of them live in Israel today. Or I think of that Shaliach who was in Potomac, Washington, had his stender and has written Nevei Daniel, and every day he would learn Chevruta with Balei Batim, and he went back to from Shlichut to Nevei Daniel. But people from that community made Aliyah to where? Nevei Daniel. He didn't have to shout and scream. Role model. You are a role model. You can have an impact on people. And therefore, every day, I ask myself, who can I touch today? Who can I make somebody smile or happy? I love it. Every morning, I say Yom Holedet Sameach to that former Shaliach. We have like 1,500 former Shlichim. And I saw on Shabbos, a former Shaliach from Bnei Akiva was in Denmark. I hugged him and asked when his birthday is. Do something and you get your day going, and it will do good for others. So ask your day on a daily basis what you can do for Am Yisrael is to do good, is Ahavat Yisrael. I do it through Torah MiTzion, through Lev Yehudi, through what we've been trying. So just briefly, you asked me how people can help.
Right. What I wanted to ask you is how people can help, how people can contribute either directly, physically, or via donations. And also what I want, if you can just address in the 5 minutes that we have left, one question that came up is Torah MiTzion within Israel. I know you did show about the Baka, your Beit Midrash. Is your aim also to expand within Israel and do more things for Israelis, or obviously the Dagesh is on Chutz La'aretz? And just tell us a little bit about what the Shlichim are going through during this time now, following October the 7th, besides the Giyus.
Okay. Briefly, how can people get involved is we're always looking for a Shaliach. So it could be your neighbor, it could be your grandson. Go to the internet site. We're always looking for support. This is not our private endeavor. Join us, invest in us. Your share on the Jewish stock exchange of Am Yisrael, the Torah MiTzion share, is worth a lot. Come volunteer, especially during our annual campaign before Shavuot. Because of my involvement in Israeli society, just briefly through a close friend in Miluim, not religious, far off, became so close in an Amutah, Life for Alon, where they do Mishluchei Manot every year. I'm on their board, a kippah on the board. So Baruch Hashem, I've been involved, that became involved in Israeli society. The Shlichim have been going through real challenging times because the distance away from Israel at this time has been an ongoing issue by them. First, they have to be excellent shlichim day to day. They have to, have that poker face. We're doing great, we're smiling, but their hearts are in Zion. And therefore, they being on shlichut have played a double role, continuing their shlichut, bringing major, what you call Ruach Israel, the spirit of Israel, but also being that bridge between Israel and telling really what's going on. But that's been difficult because a lot of them, their family have been fighting. They lost friends in battle. Some came back to fight, as I said, but those that stayed, wow, it's been a very challenging time for them. You can hear everything I use is challenging because life is a challenge. It's how you ride the wave. That's how you can deal with life. About Israeli society, I believe over 1,500, 1,600 shlichim that have been on shlichut through Torah MiTzion, or hundreds through Bnei Akiva and Bichlal, they carry on their shlichut in Israel. I say, once on shlichut, always on shlichut. So you carry on your shlichut in Israel because that's your ani ma'amin, that's the way of life, and that's what you do on a day-to-day basis. What we do for Israeli society is Lev Yehudi in India. What it is doing, it's impacting Israeli society because that is the window of opportunity while they're there. Can we do more? So we're looking through what happened after the catastrophe of the friction we had with Am Yisrael. Can we do Lev Yehudi here? Can we do Torah MiTzion here? We're open to practical ideas. Again, why? What's our why? We've tried to be focused, not spread ourselves too out there. So our base is a Makom Torah in the Kehila, in the Jewish home, in the interactive learning with the languages, and that we can like deal Torah v'ladira. Please, if you got more, be in touch, got ideas, reach out to us. It will be amazing. Lesley, this is a wonderful opportunity, and also, every person I meet with, I got bookmarks that Lesley designed. This
my company makes.
If I can show, it's got a magnet. I go to a wedding. Now I'm in Shnat Evel, but I go to a funeral. I always meet somebody and I give them a bookmark. And you're always going to be meeting people. Come prepared. And Lesley, when I go, you're always with me in my top pocket, or come prepared for that warm hug you're going to have with somebody you're going to meet on the way. Reach out first. Don't be shy. People don't bite. They bite food. They don't bite people. Smile. It's the best language you have. That's how I have dealt, overcoming since day one, and carry on, B'ezrat Hashem, for years to come. Thank you for the opportunity.
Right, absolutely. Well, Zeev, I certainly found that very, very inspiring. Just one question before I sum up. With all the events since October 7th, have your shlichim, with anti-Semitism being, having risen in a lot of these countries, are they experiencing that more people are interested now in Judaism? They're looking for their roots? Just literally, if you could, in one or two sentences.
Very much so. So, for example, in Buenos Aires, it's called La Casa. It's a joint program. So many people came there because they're looking for Yiddishkeit. A lot of people are coming to look for Yiddishkeit. This is the opportunity. So there's a lot of interest in all what we're doing, because it's time like this that people have shown interest also in Aliyah. By the way, we couldn't get shlichim to Cape Town, to South Africa. The embassy closed down, and therefore we are concerned of how we're going to be relevant in the Jewish communities from now on with rampage anti-Semitism. But we're always hopeful that this is for the best, and we'll come out of this united, stronger, and waiting for all of Am Yisrael back at home.
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Zeev Schwartz of Torah MiTzion, for your very inspiring words, and the videos, of course, were very inspiring too. I totally gelled with many of the things you said, especially the idea is that we rise above the challenges, and that's how it makes us stronger people. Also regarding the why, everybody that knows me talks about the what's your why, and that's the focus that gives us the inspiration and the strength to do things. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gents, thank you to those that are watching the recording. Thank you very much, Zeev Schwartz. Next week on our program, Monday Motivation Spotlight, something very different. We're having as our guest Tasha Cohen, who saw the need and saw the opening to found an organization called Chayal's Angels. I actually got to hear of her through Hillel Fuld, who exposed her on social media this past week. So she'll be joining us as our guest, where she goes into the army bases and does great work for the soldiers. So make sure you join us for that. And on a different note, for those of you that would like to join us tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock, we have a session, How to Improve Your Revenue and Profit in Your Business, Understanding the 15 Numbers That Drive Your Bottom Line. That is with Avi Pinsky at 8 p.m. So I look forward to seeing you then. If you haven't registered for Be in Context, you can have the Zoom link. Thank you so much for joining Monday Motivation Spotlight Series. Thanks again to our co-hosts, ACI, and to co-sponsors of the month, J Homes Jerusalem Fine Royalty. I'm Lesley Kaplan, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Monday Motivation Spotlight. I'm Yisrael Chai. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lesley. Thank you all. God bless.